This is the December 2021 Las Vegas Real Estate Report. It's the last report coming to you for 2021. Make sure you check out next month in January, where I'll be doing a recap of the entire year and have some deeper dive into the numbers and trends for the whole of 2021. But let's take a look at November statistics. I'm Jan O'Brien. I'm a team leader and business coach here at Fidacity Realty. And I am happy to say that I am working with a team of local area experts that when we're here to serve your needs, no matter where you are in the Las Vegas Valley. Make sure you reach out to one of our amazing experts. They're here to help you, whether you're buying, selling, or investing in real estate. Here's what I'm going to cover today: the Las Vegas area market update for the month of November, some key national housing stats and forecasts. We're going to talk about mortgage interest rates and what's happening with that and how they're forecasted going into 2022, and talk about this seller's market that we're still in and we've been in all year and then some. So here's a snapshot for November. 3,273 units sold with a median sales price of $420. That is up to almost 22% from last time at this year in November of 2020. The units sold also up almost 8%. New listings, a little bit staying steady, up about 3% from this time last year. However, the available inventory, that's the whole idea here of not enough inventory, why it's driving these prices up, down 25% from this time last year. And if we take a quick look at the condos and townhomes, $240,000 is the median sales price in November, up 20% year over year. And we've got about almost a month's supply of single family and 0.6 6/10 of a month here for single family, for condos and townhomes. This chart we've been tracking all year just to kind of look at the trends of where we've come since January for single family residences. This is just not including condos and townhomes. So we started out the year with a median sales price of $345, and you can see how it consistently increased throughout the whole year, leveled off a bit here in the summer, July, August, going into September, right around 405, 4065, jumped to 410 in October, and here we are back to double-digit gain for median sales price for the month of November. We'll do a total recap, as I mentioned, in January for the 2021 stats. Here's a couple other November stats. 30.1% of all sales were cash, which of course means, almost 70% of the sales that happened in November were from folks that had a loan. So I know a lot of folks are frustrated. They feel like they're losing out to cash sales. It's just only 30% of it. How you really do, if you're in the market, you do have to be very aggressive and write a very competitive offer. Make sure you reach out again to one of our team members and they can help you with that. A lot of folks continue to think that we're going to have this major short sales and foreclosures. Well, it's still taking quite a while for that to work itself out with the moratorium on foreclosures ending back in July. Things are ticking up just a little bit with defaults, but just for the month of November, it's going to take quite a while for some of those sales to show up in our statistics. Again, it was only 0.6% of all sales in November, and you can see how that compares from 1, 2, 3, and 4 years ago. So is the market adjusting? Well, this is very interesting in tracking the numbers that because of the pandemic last year and this year are just not normal, right? We've had crazy appreciation, and that has a lot to do with everything I've been talking about here. Very low inventory, high demand, pent-up buyer demand, and low interest rates has created this perfect storm. So generally, we would tell you that most listings come on the market in the spring. We do see an uptick sometimes in January, but this is the hot market in most parts of the country. What we're really anticipating because of things that are adjusting is more properties coming on the market, and we're looking at this winter, not necessarily the spring as we go into the first quarter of the year, maybe being a lot different than it has been in the past. So here is the results of a survey by Realtor.com. Majority of sellers are entering the market in the next year, plan to list in the next 6 months. 65% have just listed or plan to list this winter of everybody that was surveyed, with 19% of them already on the market. 93% of the potential sellers here surveyed have already taken steps towards listing their home, including starting to talk to a real estate agent. And 36% have done something like go find out what the value of their home is worth. So we definitely think we're going to see more activity in the winter, more property coming on the market, more opportunities, still great opportunities if you're a seller. And while we're still in this hot sellers market, but more opportunities if you're a buyer. This is also interesting, statistic tracking. You generally hear that people stay in their homes from 5 to 7 years. Well, you can see that was the case from 1985 to 2008. The average tenure, so the average time somebody stayed in their home was 6 years. And now, as you can see, it has moved since 2009 to more about 9.2. And we're seeing that be a drop down a little bit here in 2021, projected to be about 8 years. Okay, so the pandemic likely spurred occupants to shorten their homestay as it decreased from 10 years, from 8 to 10 years, according to a report from National Association of Realtors. This is the largest single change in home tenure since NAR has been collecting this data. So that's an interesting statistic. But let's also take a look at what are the projections for home sales prices in 2022 and sales. So again, this is just to dispute all this clickbait and things that you see about, the market's going to crash. Don't see it. The experts don't see it. And even if you look at the most modest of projections by the National Association of Realtors for 2022, they're saying 2.8%, with Fannie Mae saying 7.4. That gives us an average of about 5.1 of what's projected in home sales prices. And folks, that is normal. That is healthy. That is getting back to not a crash. That is getting back to decelerating, making the adjustment. We can't keep having, $10,000 adjustments in median sales prices. That we can't sustain that. So the projection is that we're going to get back to that 5%. 3 to 5% is normal and healthy. However, forecasts are sales across the nation are once again projected to perform well. So in 2021, you can see in 2020 there were 6.5 million homes sold. We're on pace to do more than that nationally. And in 2022, all of the experts are also saying that we'll be right at or above that 6.5 million. All right, mortgage rates. Well, we can see since January 2020, we've hovered down. We're kind of getting ourselves back up, potentially up to this area where it was in the beginning, well before the pandemic. And this is obviously what happened while we were in the COVID pandemic. And they've been popping around 3, below 3, above 3. But it's important to put it into perspective, right? So in 2020, you can see that we had that drop while it was all part of spurring and helping the economy with inflation and whatnot kicking in here now. We definitely are going to see some, and frankly, if you're watching the news as I record this, it's very possible that these increases in interest rates are going to happen in this next upcoming year here. And we'll maybe see between 3 up to 3.5, a little bit higher in mortgage interest rates. But that is still powerful. If you look at 2018, you can see where interest rates were. So they've been below 5 since 2018, and that is still great interest for mortgage, comparatively speaking, historically speaking. So we are in a strong seller's market. Remember, a seller's market is when there is less than 6 months inventory. And I was just showing you that we're hovering right around 1 month's supply of inventory, and less than that for condos and townhomes. So it is incredibly strong seller's market. Neutral market, where there's just as much demand as there are inventory, is about 6 to 7 months. And then we're in a buyer's market when it's greater than 7 months. We haven't been in a strong buyer's market since we had that crash with all the foreclosures and so forth. So we've been in a seller's market prior to that, and obviously we're in still a seller's market with more homeowners getting more comfortable putting their homes on the market, new construction really starting to pick up again, starts. There are some delays because of shortages and supplies and whatnot, but there's definitely a lot of new construction going on. And as I mentioned, the end of forbearance is creating new listings. People have inventory. They're not necessarily going to wait. They have equity. Most people have equity, not everyone, but the majority of them will ultimately maybe put their homes on the market to avoid a short sale or a foreclosure. All right, that does it for this month's, the final report for 2021. I will see you in January. We'll do a recap of the whole year. And if you are thinking of listing or selling your home, or you are a buyer looking for opportunities, make sure you reach out to one of our team members. We are here for you. We serve the entire Valley. And follow us, connect with us on social media. You can just look for Living Las Vegas and Henderson on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. That's it. I'm Jan O'Brien, and Happy New Year to everybody.